a lot of churches are live streaming now. And so a question that we're getting endlessly is, what's the best camera for live streaming in church?
That is a rabbit hole for sure. That is not a one size fits all answer.
Yep.
Obviously budget comes into play.
Yep.
And functionality. What are you guys trying to do?
Because the first, I think, debate you're going to have is to PTZ or not to PTZ, right?
Yeah. So what is PTZ?
Sure.
PTZ stands for pan, tilt, zoom.
They're automatic cameras.
Yep. They move around. They do stuff. You can program things, all that kind of stuff. So I think the first question is, do you want to have camera people?
Yeah. Do you want to find a bunch more volunteers?
Or do you want to be able to push a button and make it do something?
Yeah.
So I'd probably start there. And then, if you're, let's just say we're starting from scratch, because that's a little easier in the time frame we have. If we're starting from scratch, then yes, volunteers, no volunteers, what's going on?
Yep.
And I'll cover both really quickly.
Yeah.
If you want to automate stuff, PTZ cameras all the way.
Or if you only have one person who's going to run the entire camera rig.
Yeah, because you can program where you hit one button. Let's say you got a 3-camera setup, left, center, right. You hit one button, and all of these can go, here, 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 whatever.
Yeah,
and they all move in. Like you could have a setting. Like I have a little Stream Deck here, and that's a whole other. I could push one button. Like when I push a button, it goes to that camera. But when in a church service, you could have a button that's labeled like
worship
or a sermon intro or whatever,
baptism,
whatever. Yeah. So PTZs are awesome for
very flexible
for something like that.
But aren't they a little limited in what they can capture, or maybe better question is style?
Yeah. So they're, obviously, if you get, like, for example, this right here is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K.
Name drop.
A camera with an old Canon EF 50 millimeter 1.8 lens.
That if you look at it the wrong way, it'll fall apart.
It'll fall apart because it fell, and it's held together just barely. But it looks really good.
It's really good.
Like this is a really good cinematic camera.
It's a really nice camera with a basic lens.
Yeah, and that's great. Like that looks good.
Yep.
You would have to have a cameraman to do that. That camera right here, or this one,
which is also
the exact same camera, different lens on it.
Yep.
But these are going to give you a much better image than a PTZ.
Right. I mean, we're talking about cameras that were built for this specific reason. This is what they do.
Yes. So it really depends. Now, since we're starting from scratch, I will say if you stick with the Blackmagic universe, then things work really well together.
Yeah, they build all their gear to work well together.
So a quick little rundown. We are doing a little ATEM Mini.
Yep.
Extreme.
It's one of their most popular
or Ultimate
ones.
or whatever it's called. The 8-input one.
Oh, yeah.
And then our cameras go right to it. And I can literally get on my laptop, which this is my iPad, but I can get on my laptop and I can change the shutter. I can change the ISO. I can change all the parameters. I can color grade, whatever.
Not to mention we could live stream it right now.
Yeah, right now if we wanted to.
Go and send it to the internet.
So that's really cool. It just kind of depends on what your budget is and where you want to go. Like if you don't have a budget at all, then maybe like just a simple little camcorder and a feed from your console into some software or something. It just really, honestly, an iPhone can get you by. It depends on what your budget is and where you want to go.
Well, and one thing that a lot of people overlook that Stuart's actually taught me a lot about is the type of camera you use and the quality is important. But what's probably equally, if not more important, is how your stage is lit.
Oh, yeah.
Because cameras are capturing light. So if your lighting on your stage is not adequate or not set up correctly, or like in another Tech Talk we talked about, you have a lot of light, bright stuff behind your people, that's going to create a whole other slew of issues.
So imagine like you take your phone here. This is an iPhone 12. And you shoot in a really poorly lit area, really dark.
Right.
Your video that you show is not going to look very good.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting on your boat out on Lake Hefner,
like you did
sunset,
last night.
sun is setting.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of clouds in the sky.
I mean, it looked cinematic.
And you've got like all these colors going on the water and in the sky, and you got your wide angle.
Yep.
I mean, it looks great. Well, what's the difference there?
It's the lighting.
It's the lighting.
All the way.
So the lighting is the number one thing.
Yeah.
You can have the fanciest camera in the world, and if your lighting's bad, it's not going to matter.
Boy, so that is such a great way to wrap this one. Before you even go down the rabbit hole of which camera is going to suit your needs correctly, which there's plenty of great options out there, and a good consultant and integrator like us would be a great resource to find out what camera maybe. But before you even go down that road is our stage lit well?
Correct.
And if it's not, we need to go fix that problem before we ever put a camera on it.
Starting at the source.